have never lived life. Like, I don't leave my house. I don't have any life experiences. Like it fully hits me. Some of you might be wondering, okay, you live at home, you're 29, you're a complete like loser. You have nothing going for you. How are your parents okay with this? Hello everyone, my name is Alexia. Welcome to my channel, Alexia in Bloom. I'm really nervous. This is my second time recording this video. The first time was like 3 in the morning. I literally just slapped some makeup on my face. Kind of like how I did today. And I was just nervous and drowning in shame. And I thought this trip would be different, but it's not. So I'm just going to push through with the video. I do have some notes in front of me that I will be looking down on in case I slip because I'm really nervous. This video will also have a lot of jump cuts in it. This is probably one of them. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you've already seen a few other videos that are similar to this, where it's like I'm 30 and I'm behind in life, or I'm 30 and I haven't achieved anything and I'm a loser and I'm starting over. And then you click on the video and these people have like 2 degrees, they've had a corporate job, they've been married, they live on their own, and well, for me at least, I'm like, you're not behind in life. So I wanted to make a video of what being an underachiever actually looks like. So let's jump into the video. I'm 29 years old. I live at home. I'm currently unemployed. I have no degree, so my employment opportunities are limited. I have no friends. I have no romantic life. I've actually never been in a relationship. I've never even been on a date. That's embarrassing to say. All of this is embarrassing to say, but so in this video, I'm going to talk about what being an underachiever actually looks like, and I'm going to talk about what I think got me to this point, and in the end, I'm going to talk about how I plan on changing my life, because obviously I don't plan on being an underachiever forever. So let's finally start the video. So let's start with living at home. So for a lot of people, this one's sort of a big deal. So I started with this, but for me, still living at home at 29 isn't really that much of a big deal for me, because from a cultural standpoint, it's not really taboo to live at home into adulthood until you get married and stuff like that. And I'm very fortunate enough to where I live with my family that we get along fairly well. I'm comfortable. Obviously, one day I would like to be independent and see what it's like to live at home, but I don't carry a great deal of shame about this in particular. What I do carry a great deal of shame about is not having any degree and currently being unemployed and having limited options when it comes to job opportunities and things I would like to do. Why is this shameful? I think the biggest thing for me why this is shameful is that I do come from an immigrant background where when you're born into an underdeveloped or poor country and you're given the opportunity to come to a so-called first world country or developed country, you feel like you're given every opportunity to succeed, and the fact that you didn't, it sort of feels unjustifiable, because when you compare yourself to people back home who didn't have the opportunities that you had, it makes sense why they didn't succeed, because the odds were stacked against them. But if you're given the opportunity to come to a first world country, the odds are more or less stacked in your favor. So why didn't you succeed? The not having any degree, that one's really brutal, because I don't have a lot of opportunities. Like, I know there's all this weird talk on the internet and people are like, oh, education's a scam and you don't need school. Let me tell you, someone I'm currently living without a degree, you need school, okay? You need a degree, you need a paper. So many jobs, you literally cannot get a foot in unless you're, the most charismatic scammer alive and you have no problem lying and forging documents and stuff like that. But most of the people are just not cut from that cloth to be able to do that. I'm not cut from that cloth to just go in a job interview and lie and hope no one finds out. So yeah, you absolutely need a degree to succeed in life. And you get stuck in this minimum wage loop where you work very labor intensive jobs that are hard on your body and that in turn are hard on you mentally, and it's just not a good life to live. Third, not having any friends. Now, I am lonely. I'm a lonely person. The loneliness, however, I will say it comes in waves. Um, it's not something that bothers me all the time because I more or less have learned to numb myself. I do wish I had a community and I wish I had friends and people that I could share my ideas with and share my feelings with. And honestly, to help motivate me, I feel like when you have friends around, it's easier to progress in life because they kind of push you. Um, and I find that when you are very isolated, it kind of makes you underachieve even more because you're kind of just hiding away from the world. You don't really have friends or examples to be like, oh, they're doing this, maybe I should be doing that. You're able to sort of hide away and just develop really unhealthy coping mechanisms that just damage you further. Never been in a romantic relationship. So this is something that also surprisingly doesn't bother me that much. Um yeah, I do regret. I wish I had started dating when I was 25 so that I could have some experiences because I feel like I'm going to be 30 in a few, well, not soon because I just turned 29, but I I wish I had started dating earlier, but I can't say that it's something that bothers me deeply. I do want to experience love though. I guess it scares me on some level. I guess it maybe scares me. I think that's it. I have no real life experiences. So this is something that actually really does bother me. And again, it doesn't bother me as much because I sort of numb myself a lot by like disassociating and scrolling on my phone and distracting myself. But on the rare occasion where I do get in a situation where, people are sharing their experiences or things they did or what have you, it does hit me like, oh my God, I have never lived life. Like, I don't leave my house. I don't have any life experiences. Like, it fully hits me. And in those moments, I do feel like, wow, like you're really robbing yourself. So, as you can see, I am a textbook underachiever by everything I've just listed. So, let's talk about how I got here. Number one. So, reason number one, ADHD. Yes, it is real. No, it is not an excuse. ADHD has a way of keeping you behind everyone else. It is a malignant disorder that deteriorates and affects every fraction of your life, and it does this in such a way that you can't explain it to anyone who doesn't have it. ADHD makes everything in your life difficult, like having a normal sleep schedule, remembering where you put things, keeping focus, prioritizing tasks, keeping a job long term. And I wrote what I experience as the absolute worst part of having ADHD that truly drives me insane. Um, the worst part of having ADHD is, I feel like I'm gonna cry now. Oh wow. Um, the wor- okay, we can't cry. Um, the worst part of having ADHD is you always feel like you're working backwards. It is a really emotionally and mentally debilitating disorder. ADHD has a way of providing proof, like proof that you're worthless, proof that you're not as good as other people by the sheer fact that you just struggle to do what everyone else does. How do you think highly of yourself and think, oh no, I can do this, I can do that, if you're clearly seeing in your day-to-day life, wait, I'm trying super hard. And that's like a misconception about people with ADHD is that we don't try. we try really, really hard. It just doesn't look like we're trying. ADHD naturally breeds low self-esteem in people. It breeds perfectionism, imposter syndrome, fear, self-sabotage. All of those things are recipes for failure in life. In my life, I've turned down job promotions. I have walked out on job interviews. Like, I've literally gotten close to the door, ready to open the door to walk into a job interview. But because I was so convinced that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't going to be as good as other people, I literally sabotaged myself and like walked out and was like, no, I can't do it. Let's get to why I'm underachieving now. It's fairly simple. It is comfort and laziness. Comfort breeds laziness. Because I have the privilege of living at home, having my basic needs covered, I'm able to sort of there's no external pressures that's forcing me out of my cocoon and forcing me to want to live a better life. So some of you might be wondering, okay, you live at home, you're 29, you're a complete like loser, you have nothing going for you. How are your parents okay with this? And they're not, okay? It's more so that they see my disability up close. And two, this is going to be hard to believe, but I am not a complete degenerate. I actually save. I'm pretty good at saving. I always prioritize paying off all my bills, and I contribute to the house. So when I'm not working, I usually have a good amount of savings cushioned. Plus, like I said, I prioritize paying off my credit cards. So even when I'm not working, I'm usually able to contribute to the household. So I'm not really a burden most of the time. Also, when I'm here, I'm not just, scrolling endlessly. I also do a lot of cooking and cleaning, and I take care of them. I'm basically a stay-at-home wife for my family most of the time. Not proud of saying that, but that is the reality of it. So that is kind of why they let me slide. Also, I'm very generous to my parents. Like I said, we have a pretty good relationship. So right now they're having to be generous towards me because I'm not working and my savings have ran out. But when I am working, I am very generous to them. I give my credit cards to them. There are times where like my dad will be, I'll just give him my credit card to use. I give my mom money for her nails, hair, that kind of thing. So when I am down, they are a bit more lenient with me. And I think they trust that I will get back on my feet again. So I think that's what they're waiting for. And they won't have to wait much longer. This is the end of the video, but this is not the end of the journey. I hope that you will join me on my journey of no more underachieving. And I will be making more videos in the future, chronicling my journey and my progress. And hopefully you will join me in that journey and you will stop underachieving as well, and we can do it together. So with love, thank you for watching.